Hey, what's going on, guys? Rob with 3STRONG here. Today I have my PVC pipe because I'm going to show you a movement that I feel is one of the best overall flexibility assessment tools. Full body flexibility. Plus, it will help identify some weaknesses. This isn't a strength test necessarily, so it's not going to find out where your strengths are, but it will identify some weaknesses in some of those smaller stabilizing muscles. What movement am I talking about? It's the overhead squat. I've demonstrated the overhead squat before in some of my other videos, but now I'm going to demonstrate it as an assessment tool so you can identify some of those little tight spots, some of those little weak areas. This is going to be a multiple part series, so I'm not going to cover all the little details in this one video. So let me show you the overhead squat. You grab this pole. Essentially what you're going to do is bring this thing up to where your hands are maybe just at the line, if not a little bit wider than your elbows, and then you're going to push that bar overhead. First of all, you can kind of identify one weak area or one tight area, if you may have it, is that just getting this bar overhead can be difficult for some people. You're going to get your feet set up like you would for any other squat, and then squatting down, you are going to keep that bar overhead and then stand back up. Let me show this to you from the side, down, and then back up. So, what did you see there? Well, you saw me do an overhead squat. But what are the areas that are going to be a little bit tricky? I'm going to start with the shoulders and work our way down. Obviously, if we can't get the shoulders back into this position, we have a major tightness in the pecs and in the shoulder, essentially the shoulder capsule. If we have a hard time, if you have a hard time doing, that with grip that's just outside the elbows, go a little bit wider. Find that spot that works for you. But what we find is if you can't get that bar back behind you, and if you have a mirror, definitely use the mirror, because if you're going to assess yourself, you need to get that visual feedback. So if we're doing this overhead position, it gets very difficult. What we've just found is that clearly I can't get this bar over my head, so my shoulders are tight. Okay, that's number one. Next thing with the upper body is that the upper back plays a huge role in the quality of your overhead movements. The alignment of being able to get into a good overhead position is not just the flexible shoulder, but if I have bad posture, notice how it doesn't matter how flexible my shoulders are if I don't have an upright torso. If I have bad, if I have a hunched upper back, which is the thoracic spine, that limits my range of motion. If I mobilize and elevate that upper spine, notice how I get much more range. So that when we go down into the overhead squat, I'm actually going to go back in this position. If we get down into the overhead squat, and I have this kind of rolled shoulder position here, it's very difficult for me, if you can see how my upper back is rounded, and it's very difficult, and I'm feeling a little bit of pinching my shoulder, you need to loosen up that upper back. I've actually shown a couple of foam roll tools, a couple of foam roll little drills to do to loosen up the upper back. I've already shown you the PVC pipe, but this movement right here will identify all that stuff so can I actually get into this position? Can I do this without any weight? And if not, maybe those are areas that I need to work on. Next time, I'm going to go over the hips. What have we found in the hips, and what do you need to work on to fix that? All right? overhead squat. It's a great little test. See you next time.